Hey, what's up? So today I'm gonna talk about how to be nice. And if I remember correctly, I got this idea from a comment, and I think the context was like more like how do you be nice to people without getting hurt by them, right? So maybe you're being nice to someone and you're not getting the response that you expect. Maybe they're not reciprocating your niceness, right? Or maybe you feel like you want to be nice to people, but you don't want to get taken advantage of by them. So how do you find a balance between being too nice and being nice, right? And basically, it's like, how do you be nice to someone and then don't feel bad about being nice to them afterwards because you didn't get the response you expected, right? So I think there's a lot of ways to answer this, but the first thing I want to cover that I think is super important, and maybe the only thing I need to cover, is you don't base your feelings off something outside of you. Okay, you control your feelings. Only you control your feelings, right? You decide how you feel. You don't let other people decide how you feel, right? Other people can be shitty to you, and it comes in, and then you acknowledge it and you observe it happening, but you don't let that affect how you feel, right? You decide how you want to respond to that. Just because someone's shitty to me does not mean you have to feel sad, right? Someone can be shitty to you, and you can acknowledge it, and you can decide how you want to act after that. All right, so that's number one. Make sure you understand that your feelings and how you feel is only controlled within. And I think the second thing is you want to be nice because you want to be nice, right? Only be nice if you want to be nice, right? Don't be nice because you want someone else to respond in a certain way, right? And then don't base your feelings off of how that person responds. Okay, does that make sense? So if you want to be nice, then be nice. If they don't respond a certain way, that's totally fine, right? It doesn't matter to you because you don't have expectation. If you're now being nice to someone because you want them to act a certain way towards you, and they're not doing it, now you have expectation, and they're not meeting it. Now you're upset, right? So be nice because you want to be nice, not because you're trying to get something in return. Another thing from within is like if you're feeling a certain way, maybe you're watching this video because like I want to be able to be nice to people and have them reciprocate. Like maybe I'm feeling lonely. Maybe you want a girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Maybe you feel like you don't have friends and you just want more friends, right? Maybe you feel like you should be a certain way. You should be more outgoing, whatever, whatever. And what I want to kind of address right now is like just because you feel like you have these problems and what you're trying to do is trying to find other people to solve these problems for you, right? I feel lonely. I want a girlfriend to make me feel not lonely. Having a girlfriend is not going to solve your loneliness problem, right? Maybe it will for a little bit, but eventually it's not because you have something wrong inside here. You're not going to get something outside to solve your problem inside here, right? So if you don't want to feel lonely anymore, just don't feel lonely. Just decide that being alone is okay, right? You can be alone and not be lonely, right? So why do you feel like it's not okay to be lonely, to be alone, right? Figure out that process first before you before you start trying to find other people to fill your holes. Okay, does that make sense? Because if you're trying to fill your holes with other people, then it's gonna be harder for you to not get affected by how they act because there's so much on the line. Hope that makes sense. Okay. When I was growing up, I used to hear this term a lot. Nice guys finish last. I don't know if I hear it anymore, but I kind of like wanted to analyze that, right? Because is it actually true? Because growing up, I thought it was true, and this is kind of like the term comes from like trying to get a girl, right? Nice guys finish last. Nice guys don't get the girl or whatever. And I don't feel like this is true because I feel like a lot of nice guys do get girls, right? I think it's more like nice guys that are uncool finish last, right? So if you're uncool, then yeah, it's not gonna be well, right? It's not so much that because you're nice, it's just because you're not attractive or you don't have attractive qualities, right? And I guess my question is more like, are nice guys that finish last, are they actually nice guys or are they actually just trying to be a nice guy to get what they want from this girl? And they're just trying everything they can to be nice. And then when they don't get what they want, they blow up, right? So just something to think about. I just thought it was fun to throw in there. But okay, so now like I kind of covered like what you need to like fix within, but then there's some things that you can fix outwardly as well. Okay, so number one, I think is important is you want to respect yourself, right? People can only respect you as much as you respect yourself. So you dictate how other people treat you by giving them feedback, right? So if someone treats you a certain way, or someone asks you something that you don't want to do, or whatever, you can decide how to act, right? And that will kind of train people how to treat you, right? So if someone disrespects you in a way you don't like, you have to address it. And I'm not saying like it's not like prison rules or anything like that, but you just have to address it somehow. You can be nice about it. You can let them know. Just your response will dictate whether or not they do it again, right? And yeah, just have some backbone. Stand for yourself. Like if you want to be liked, or if you want people to be nice to you, then you have to you have to demand people are nice to you. And when I say demand, I don't mean ask them. I just mean like carry yourself in a way where people want to be nice to you. All right. That's number one. So is it possible to be too nice? And I was kind of thinking about this a lot. And I think that it depends, right? I do feel like I've met people in the past that were too nice. And I kind of didn't trust them, right? Because I felt like there was ulterior motive. So I think the thing is you can be as nice as you want. It's totally fine as long as you don't have a different motive, right? As long as you don't want to get someone to like you because you're being nice, then it's fine. If you want to be a nice guy, you want to be a nice guy because you're a nice guy. That's totally cool, right? But then if I'm trying to get you to like me by being as nice as I can to you, then I have a different motive. And then if I do that, I'm setting myself up to be disappointed. But at the same time, like it's also creating a weird balance in power in this relationship as well, right? And then which means it's easier for you not to be nice to me. If that makes sense. So to understand the difference between being nice to be nice or being nice because you want something, right? Or being nice because you're desperate, right? Those are different, and just use your common sense there. So just kind of make sure you understand the difference because it does change how it's taken. And yeah, I think it's also important to understand the push and pull. Like if you're talking about relationships, like dating, it's super important. Like you just can't be too available, right? You just can't be too available. You can't try too hard all at once. You have to like give a little bit, get a little bit, give a little, get a little bit, right? And that's why it's fun, right? It's fun for the other person. It's fun for you as well. If you can imagine someone's just like always there and always available and always wants to do what you want to do and always wants, just like all about you, like that can get kind of there's no fun in that, right? When it comes to friendships, it's not as important, but it's also not important, right? And I don't know how deep I can get into this, but just really understand the push and pull between relationships, right? That will help a lot if you feel like you're not getting reciprocated. I think it's also really important to assume best case scenario, right? So it's like, hey, I'm trying to make friends with someone, they didn't text me back or whatever, or hey, two of my friends hung out without me, like, do they hate me, right? Just assume best case scenario. Hey, maybe they got tired, or maybe they just happened to be together, they went to go hang out, right? Just don't assume like there's anything bad going on. Whatever you think is a big deal is not that big of a deal, right? If it is a big deal, then you can just get new friends, and you can just choose not to be like that, right? If someone actually is bullying you or mean to you, just choose not to be like that. But like don't think too much about it, right? It's chill. Just don't think too much about it. So that's basically it. I think the idea is if you want to be nice to people without having to feel like you're getting taken advantage of or like to get hurt, then just don't get hurt. Just choose not to get hurt and don't expect anything. And just be nice because you want to be nice. So hope that helps. And I'll see you next video. By the way, I discovered this yesterday because my wife was like, hey, how come I don't see your videos? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I discovered that you can subscribe, but you can also do the all notification. So I would suggest that you subscribe to the all notification. So then you get to see my videos. So I appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe to my newsletter that I haven't done anything with yet, I'll put a link below and see you next video.